Yo, what's good people? Today we're going to be looking at Raven's new back turn options in season 2. So he received tons and tons and tons of crazy buffs. So now we're going to look at what he can do in back turn, what his new options are, what his counter hit fishing tools are, the new low, you know, the Oki that you can get from back turn, so on and so forth. Do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Liking will help with the algorithm. Commenting will also help with the algorithm. And subscribing will let me know that you enjoyed the content. Let's get into it. Okay, so Raven's back turn suffered with the low threat. So they buffed back turn forward 4, right? So I'm going to put the command history on so you can see what I'm pressing. So currently this low does 13 points of damage and it's plus 4 on hit, right? So I'm going to actually put the frames on as well so you can see. So frames. Yep, plus 4. So this allowed for, you know, counter hit fishing tools as well, which is cool. But now they've given him a new low. So this is the most substantial change that Ravens received in Tekken 8 history, in my opinion. Maybe other than forward 4 being 15 frame launch, because that's crazy. But I think him actually getting a really good low from back turn that high crushes, that does 20 damage, that's minus 12 on block, that has a counter hit follow up. Like, I think this low was just ridiculous. Like, look at this low. Like, it's just insane. Like, this low is insane. So that's back turn down 2. Just going to show you the frames on block before we move on to the next attack. So, of course, it's only minus 12, right? And this actually does insta high crush. So now if you do down back 2 and they jab, it's going to get beat, right? So we're going to set that up. I'm going to do punish. So it's going to jab, right? This actually gets beat. Obviously, it won't be counter hit at that point unless they do strings that are high. See? This is plus 4 on hit into, you can do into back turn. So you can do like this. Into back turn, into forward 4. You can empty crouch and do it as well, which is amazing to change the timing. Sometimes what I like to do in Tekken 7 is I would kind of do maybe down back 2, hold down in back turn, and then do back turn down 4. See? So I changed the timing. You can do the same thing with back turn down 2, which is insane. And that goes for everything that puts him in back turn as well. You see? And you can mix it up with back turn 4 because they're relatively similar speeds, right? Back turn 4 is 19. This is 20. This is just an insane low. So you can do this into back turn. You can do it into full crouch for a sweep or something else. Like you can do, because this is plus 4, right? You can do this into while standing 2 for a frame trap. This move is very, very powerful. Because look. Like, yeah, this low is outrageous. So yeah, this low is just insane. Obviously, you can do it into standing as well. If you want to just frame trap, for example, with like down back 2, you can. That's going to be, you know, a frame trap. Throws will be a frame trap as well because you're plus 4 on normal hit, right? Obviously on counter hit, you've got a follow up as well. So all around, this low is just ridiculous. Yeah, back turn 2 is amazing. So let's talk about his G-CLEF, because his G-CLEF is back turn 2-2-1. So this is only a 3-hit combo on counter hit, but it does 3 more points of damage. So this does even more damage now. So as you can see, I'm going to turn counter hit off, right? So the first 2 hits are not a combo. So he can actually block that. I'm going to set him to block after the first hit. You see how he can block the second attack, right? Now, granted, the blue clones are only minus 13. So it's not the end of the world if you don't hit confirm it or counter hit confirm it. So it's not the end of the world, right? But still, this is a counter hit confirm tool, which is a back turn G-CLEF. G-CLEFs are 10 frame counter hit strings, you know, your Lars 111, your Dragunov 121, so on and so forth. Raven has, he actually has one in standing, so it's 124, and he has one in back turn, right? So this is his 124, only guaranteed on counter hit, and similarly back turn 221 is only guaranteed on counter hit, but obviously back turn 221 now does more damage. because they increase the damage of these clones. So down back to 1-1, the third hit, so the clone does more damage, and the clone of this move does more damage as well. Okay, so now we're going to look at something that is quite substantial for combo route. Now, it's not super substantial for neutral play, I don't think. So this is his back turn back to 4. So they've given him the new transition that, you know, Soul Zone 3 received, and 2-4 received this transition as well. So you can mix. Right? Which is just insane. So that's his 10 frame, and that's kind of the same warping. They call it warping in the patch notes. So we're going to talk about back turn back 2-4. Now, back turn back 2-4 does this warping. So they changed the frame advantage of the second hit to +5. So again, this is going to be a frame trap on hit. Now, the caveat here is that back turn back 2-4 is no longer a combo on normal hit. It has to be counter hit. However, what they've done to the move on block is insane. So you're going to think, oh, that's a nerf. But honestly, I don't think this is a nerf. Look at this. It still jails, by the way. So they can't, if you block all, right? And then you do crouching block, he can't duck and launch. So you see how this doesn't jail, so he can duck and launch. He can't duck and launch this. It jails. And this is 0 on block. It's 0 on block. So people who try to check this now, you can sidestep. You can check them with mids. You can check them with power crush. Like, there's so much stuff you can do. And if they try to jab here now, so you can do, with these warp attacks, you can do, it's the same as white hole. So this is all the warp is, it's white hole, right? So they've given white hole transitions to a few moves. Obviously, Soul Zone 3 being one of them, 2-4 on hit being one of them, and also back turn, back 2-4 on block, right? Or on hit. So you can do this into full crouch by holding down. You can do this into back turn by holding back, or you can just do neutral by pressing nothing. And this is all 0 on block, these transitions. So what's going to happen now is a lot of people will try to jab these attacks, and you're going to see what happens when they try to mid check. It's kind of nutty what they've done with this move because of the situations after it on block. So I'm going to set up Raven to do a jab. So he's going to do punish. We're going to set him to do fast high attack, as you can see there. So he can't even jab this now on block. So what I was going to show you is if they tried to check it with mids now, because you've kind of, you know, you've high crushed them a little bit. So if you keep doing this, you know, beating their jab attempts, what they're going to start doing is trying to do mids. So what happens if they're trying to do mids now from this? Look at this. Counter hit, launch, trade. So like if a character tries to generic down forward 1 check it, if they try to do like a safe down forward 2, if they try to do any mid, other than obviously I-12 mids won't work here, but like this is kind of insane. That is crazy. So this is a crazy change. So yeah, that is back turn back 2-4. Now we're going to look at it on counter hit as well. You're going to see that it's going to be a combo. You see how it's a combo now. So this only works on counter hit. Now what's interesting is that they made back turn 3+4 and back turn back 2-3 -14 on block. We are going to cover those a little bit more in a little bit more detail later on, but it's relevant because what happens now is this move is a counter hit launcher in back turn. Look at this damage. Look at the damage. Look at the damage. This is absolutely absurd. So obviously this is one of his new combo routes. What is this damage? From a 16 frame counter hit launcher. That's crazy. So again, this change is super significant. The back turn back 2 change in back turn is ridiculous. So that is back turn back 2-3 and back turn back 2-4. It transitions and how you would use it. Personally, it is kind of like a fishing tool. So back turn back 2 by itself is still super strong as it's still +6, right? So it still kind of acts the same. segueing on from that is back turn 3+4. So they changed the launch, which is way better for us because the combo is way more consistent now because the launch is better to deal with, right? So 85 damage with no heat or rage from a -14 launcher. So I can call out hard ducks now. So why it's significant is because before this move was -20 on block, but now you're going to see it's -14 on block, which is absolutely ridiculous. So they did increase the consistency. So they fixed, like, you know, when the first hit and then the second hit would whiff, and they allowed it to be used in combos. So now that this will pick up from the floor. So that's why I could do, you know, launch, show you the combo. That's why I can do this combo now. So down back 2 into back turn 3+4. This wasn't possible before. So they've buffed it in so many different ways. So they made it a back turn launcher. So I can call out ducks because you can still do it from empty crouch, right? So you can do obviously back turn down 2. You could do back turn 4 from empty crouch, or back turn 3+4, which I think is going to be super toxic. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous change. The next change is going to be back turn 1+2. So the reason why this move is more effective is because they actually decrease the amount of time it takes for the armor to activate. So it actually starts up in 6 frames now rather than 8 frames. So usually what people would do is down back 2 power crush and they would get beat by jabs, right? So it's going to jab after down back 2. So Raven can't be beaten now. So obviously this makes power crush safe if he absorbs attacks. Same with back 2 too. So better frames on the armor startup. So now we're going to talk about back turn 2-1. So it's really not a significant change. All they did is on block, they changed the frames from -3 to -1 on block. Now we have back turn back 3, which is actually quite significant because what they did is they buffed the hitbox of the move downwards. So they buffed the downwards hitbox of the move. So you can actually use this move in more situations as a strong aerial spin. So I'm going to show you a combo that didn't work before and I'm going to see if it works. So in this situation, this move did not hit, but it hits now. So this is a combo that you can do if you don't want to do the hardest combos, like, you know, Soul Zone 1+2. I'm just going to show you what the combo looks like. So this is one of his hardest combos from a new route. So that's 94 damage. And then this combo does 95. So sick. So sick. So yeah, that's his hardest combo. But if you want to do easier combos like this, for example, back turn back 3 didn't work here, but it does now. So it just increases his combo potential, which is good. I guess it's kind of a minor buff because the combos that you would do before with Soul Zone 1+2 dash heat burst, back turn back 3 was always consistent. It's mainly for combos where you do, you know, you do a tailspin and then you end with 4-4-3 heat burst. In those situations, back turn back 3 would whiff. So for example, like in this combo, easy B&B, 4-4-3 heat burst. Now this would whiff, but obviously it hits now in this patch because of the hitbox buff. So yeah, you can do an easy conversion. Obviously a little bit less damage, but it's consistent and it's easy to do, you know. I think this helps out beginner players or, you know, players who aren't as comfortable doing like G-CLEF 1-2, because there's still a lot of Raven players that don't know how to do it, and it is hard, to be honest. But at least Raven has routes where it still does a lot of damage and it's pretty difficult to drop. Like, you know, this route is hard to drop. All right. So those are Raven's back turn changes. He did receive a lot of changes. I personally think this one is the most toxic, or maybe back turn 3+4 being -14, or this being a counter hit launch. Like, I think that is insane. I don't think people actually understand how crazy that changes. Like, this being a counter hit launcher is insane. Like, look at this damage. Look at this damage. Look at this damage. 117 damage from a counter hit launching mid in back turn. That's Twitch confirmable. Yeah, that's insane. So again, let me know what you guys think about Raven's back turn changes and Raven's changes overall. Let me know what you think about his new back turn low. I think his new back turn low is amazing. So yeah, his new back turn low is crazy. So again, yeah, let me know what you guys think about his changes, his back turn changes, his new low, the homing throw change as well. So that's one thing that I do want to mention as well. Now, that's not really in Raven's patch notes, but this is a universal change, which does obviously affect Raven. So his back turn throws are homing, so you can't step these now. So that's a good thing. You know, if you find that your opponents are stepping in back turn, obviously he does have ways to track both sides, like these track both sides. But if you want to just completely eliminate guessing, you can just, you know, throw, generic throw. But there we have Raven's back turn changes. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.